To the Michigan State primary election results. I'm Charlie. I am the country conservative.
And I'm Brendan Statler of The Brendan Statler Show.
Tonight, we're going to be going over all the election results live as they come in. And remember, they have two different poll closing times. They have one at 8 o'clock and one at 9 o'clock. So they shouldn't call this as fast as they did in South Carolina just the other day. But we will wait and see. But before that, join me in the playing of the national anthem. All right. So the polls will be closing now. And we will see what happens.
Yeah, this is
shortly
going to be an interesting night because, as you said, Michigan's one of these very few states that has two different time zones within it. So it's probably going to be a while before we get a winner declared. At least chances are it'll be some time before we get a winner declared. So it's going to be interesting to see how soon this race is called because, if past history dictates, President win by a landslide margin over Nikki Haley as he has done every primary to this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it is before they declare him the winner just because of these two different time zones and two different poll closings.
Oh, most definitely. This is running a little bit different here because Michigan puts on a primary tonight, and then on Saturday, the 2nd, they will put on a caucus. And that will tell when all the delegates are released. Tonight will not release all the delegates to the candidates, which is a strange thing to do. But Michigan's been doing this for a few years now. Also, we want to keep an eye on the early voting, the absentee ballots that have come in for Michigan because their early voting took place from February 18th through the 25th. And all the ballots that they have to be in by tonight, by 8 p.m. So anything after this, they don't get a count. But so far, they've gotten 18,000 voters to participate in the early voting, and 747,000 voters have submitted their absentee ballots. So these are the first statewide elections where voters in Michigan have a minimum of 9 days for early in-person voting, thanks to a proposal they did that was approved by the voters in 2022. So things are a lot different here in Michigan as for other states. So there's a lot to have to be looking out for. Now, the people that can vote in this are Democrats, Republicans, Independents. They're all eligible to vote. However, voters must request a specific ballot for their party. So, but doesn't mean that you can't vote Republican if you're a Democrat, because you can always write in Donald Trump's name in on your ballot.
Mm-hmm. And another thing it's going to be interesting to see with tonight's results is you and me were talking before we went live here. The uncommitted selection for the Democrat ticket. It's going to be interesting to see how many people vote against Joe Biden, because we seen this with, I believe it was South Carolina. Joe Biden had an absolute horrendous turnout from what he got in 2020. He didn't get anywhere near half of what he got in 2020. This election in South Carolina, I believe it was. So I have a pretty good feeling that a significant amount of Democrats are going to vote against Joe Biden tonight. So that's something else to look out for.
Yeah, which in 2020, he did get a lot of votes, and that's what worries me, because Michigan flips back and forth.
Right.
Because they went for Donald Trump in 2016, then they flipped in 2020, which I have here, and I can't see it real well, but he got a lot of votes in 2020, or so-called votes, compared to Trump.
Yeah, if you could believe those results, a lot of shady stuff happened in Michigan, particularly in Detroit, where they were putting pizza boxes over windows so poll watchers could not see what was happening. Similar to what happened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A bunch of shady stuff happened in these key swing states where Joe Biden was projected the winner by the lamestream media news outlets. After
they shut down counting,
right,
the country, and then all of a sudden come back with big numbers for Joe Biden after all these ballots were found overnight. So I really don't count on ballots in 2020, that is, on how accurate these numbers are.
No, and even let's just say they are accurate, which we all know they're not, because if there were legitimate votes, you wouldn't have seen, Republican poll watchers being kicked out and them throwing, them taping pizza boxes over windows so you couldn't see in. So we know it's illegitimate. But let's just assume that it was. This is before the complete destruction of the United States had taken place under the illegitimate Biden regime. There are a lot of eyes that have been opened since 2020. So, I know of a decent amount of people actually that voted for Biden in 2020 and say they're voting for Trump in 24 because everything they were told about Trump was a lie they know now, and they see how much this country has gone to shit since Biden has been in the White House. So I still, even if we were to say that those results in Michigan in 2020 were legitimate, as I said, we all know they're not, but if we're assuming they are, I still look for Biden to have a disastrous night. I think a lot of Democrats are going to select the uncommitted option. And Biden's still going to win. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying for everyone listening out there. He's still going to win because he's the incumbent, but you don't want to look at the percentage. You want to look at the total vote count and compare that to what he got in 2020. Biden's going to be projected the winner tonight, but what you have to look at is the total vote count.
Right. Well, got an article tonight here that says Joe Biden's chances of losing Michigan primary as he faces a revolt. Sorry. Because the people in Michigan are, I guess, hell-bent because Joe Biden is supporting Israel over the Hamas attacks. And I guess the people in Michigan are pro-Palestine, obviously, because they are not happy with Joe Biden's stance on Israel. Because it says Biden backed Israel's right to defend itself and has a voice to support and increase aid, while the president has also expressed concerns about number of civilian deaths. Well, I'm not sure what is going on with the people in Michigan. So this is where I believe that the uncommitted comes from. But they're saying that there's a chance that he could lose this. So, but I'm not sure what other Democrats are on the ballot tonight.
Yeah, I see from what it's showing here, I have Fox News on my tablet here. The only ones it's showing is Biden, Dean Phillips in the uncommitted category. I don't see Biden losing just because he's the most recognized name and he's the quote unquote incumbent.
Yeah.
So he's going to be projected the winner. But like I said, what you want to look at is the total vote count. I think he's going to tremendously underperform from what he got in 2020 because, like we've talked about before, this is not just in red states or blue states. This is all over the entire nation. People are not sold on Biden. Really, they never have been. But, if you're just looking at the Democrat Party in particular, most polls are showing that 75% of Democrat voters want somebody other than Joe Biden. It's, he's going to underperform. He's going to be projected the winner just because, could you imagine if he wasn't declared the winner in one of these?
That'd be hilarious.
The deep state would never let that happen. They would never let that happen, for one. But this is just the thing I hate to say, but most Americans don't actually do research. They'll just read the news article. It says Joe Biden easily wins Michigan primary. And he will win easily compared to the rest of his opponents. But they're not. The vast majority of people aren't going to look back at the vote count he got in 2020 and look at the vote count he got here in 24 and compare the two. So that's the thing that people need to look at. I think he's going to tremendously underperform tonight than what he got in 2020.
Right. Everybody in chat, how you doing? Let us know where you're from, where you're tuning in from, and don't hesitate to chime in with your opinions on the election. And don't forget to go to our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative, and Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Check out our videos. Don't forget to follow us. Share our videos with your friends and family. We want to get the truth out to people. This is why we do this. So don't forget to go to both of our pages, follow, so you can get notified when we put up new videos, because we've got a lot going on this year with all these primaries up to the general election. We're going to try to hit every one of them that we can. There might be some once in a while that we can't, but we're going to try every one that we can. So please go in there, follow, and check out our videos. And please let us know where you guys are tuning in from. And I got some numbers here of Biden's approval ratings, which are dismal. And if you can see this, people, I think is that 44% on there that disapprove. Yes. And what's the disapproval again? 25 or I think it's what it is.
23. Yeah. I must say it's really small in my view here.
I would like to see the people that actually approved of what he's doing with the corruption, with the southern border, with all these wars that are going on around the country. Why would you approve for this man with his dementia that is on clear display to the world? That if you go back and look at my video on there, and I have a video of a spoof that Italy made showing them make fun of Joe Biden. That just proves how bad of a laughingstock our country is right now. And it's pathetic.
Yeah, one thing that people need to understand here, there is nobody, not one voter out there that truly approves of Biden. What was it, the 25% or whatever that approve
Right,
that you just showed there?
right.
Every one of those people are just saying they approve of Biden just because they're happy Donald Trump's not in there. They're so blinded with their severe case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, that they're willing to see the whole country burn down just because they don't want Donald Trump in the White House. That's all there is to it. There's nobody that approves of Joe Biden. Nobody likes this guy. I mean, you see him go into one of these small businesses. He makes he makes an appearance at one of these businesses. Nobody reacts to him like he's there. Like everybody ignores him. Now you see Donald Trump go into a place, even in blue states like New York. You see him go into a business in New York City. How everybody just goes nuts for him. It's nobody really approves of Biden. They're they're just so blinded by their hatred for Trump. They'll say they approve of Biden just because they don't want Donald Trump in the White House. That's all it comes down to.
But when you ask them questions about Trump, they don't want to answer the question. And
because they can't make a logical argument. Liberalism truly is to quote the great Michael Savage. Liberalism is a mental disorder. Every view they have is based off of emotion, not logic, not facts. It's all off how you feel. There's no logic behind their thinking.
Oh, that's for sure. Because I was watching a video today, and I can't remember her name. She's a little blonde girl. She goes around to colleges and stuff and talks to people. She's been on for a while now, and it's sad that I can't remember her name right now. But she was at this college campus, and she was talking to some people, and the girl said that that Trump's a racist. Or she asked him, "How's he a racist?" He said, "Well, he has people killed." And she asked him, because how does he have people killed? And the girl says, "Well, she tells the police to go do this and has the police do it for him." And this girl rambled off and told her to leave the campus because this is a private campus and it was a public university. And this girl,
Yeah,
she doesn't want, and then she goes off and says, "Well, I'm not talking to you because you're a racist too." And this girl's a little tough reporter, but she's a social media person. And the girl says, "I'm done talking to you because you're just as bad as them, and you need to leave campus now before I call the police." Oh, it's pathetic what these liberal colleges are doing to these kids.
yeah. I've seen many videos like that that you're talking about. I've seen that one in particular, honestly. But honestly, you watch one of those videos, you've seen them all. Like it's all the same interaction. They'll say that Trump's a racist, or MAGA are all racist, and you ask them to give you one example, like how are we racist? How are we fascists? Stuff like this, and they can't give you a specific detail. They'll be like, well, if you don't know, I'm not telling you, or I'm not talking to you. This is what liberals do all the time. If you ever argued with one over Facebook,
Oh God,
which like many of us have,
yes,
that's the response I always get. I'll ask them a question, or just to give me an example of how what I'm saying is wrong and what they're saying is right. And they'll be like, "Oh, your question isn't worthy of response," or something like this. And I'm like, you can't answer my question or give me an example because it doesn't go along with your narrative. That's the whole liberal mentality. They just
awesome.
repeat buzzwords and stuff they hear on the mainstream media. They that's the biggest thing with liberals. They lack critical thinking. They have zero critical thinking. They can't back up anything they say. It's funny arguing with people like this because you could just tell they're some of the most unintelligent people in the world, really. It's, all they could do is parrot. They don't actually believe in anything. They just believe in whatever, their desired media outlet tells them to believe.
Well, they don't educate themselves, and they
No,
believe in places like CNN, MSNBC, and all those
and it
idiot
doesn't
sites.
and it doesn't help when they're going to these indoctrination centers known as universities now. That definitely adds to the epidemic of stupidity among the liberal left.
Well,
You know,
they even argue with Charlie Kirk, and all them guys that go in there and show them the facts, and they want to sit there saying like they're right because they're college students and they're idiots. They're
oh yeah,
brainwashed and they don't think for themselves. And all these colleges do is, like you said, they indoctrinate them to believing what they want them to believe, and that's what this Democrat Party and Joe Biden wants. They want these kids to be like puppets to them, like he is to the Democrat Party and Obama.
yeah,
No, this is
and
what they're doing constantly.
yeah, and another thing you got to remember, what countries do the most funding to American universities. A lot of them are Middle Eastern countries, which, of course, the Middle East is not real friendly with America. And the other is China, also
Big
not
one.
very friendly with America. So, those particular parts of the world are dumping all kind of money into our universities. This is all by design. You teach these people to hate our country and embrace Marxist ideology. It's all about destroying the country from within. That's why these universities have turned into indoctrination centers. It's all poisoning the well. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. That's what all of this is. It's to destroy the country from within.
Oh, most definitely China. And I know of a local medical college, WVU Medicine, is well funded by China.
Mm-hmm.
And no one should in America should be taking money from China.
No.
Because I just did a video on, of course, the Bidens taking money from China. They are involved with the CEFC in China that is involved with a gang leader in China that has started the fentanyl trade coming through into America. And they're the gang leaders, the ones that gave Biden's $5 million. And they call it a loan, no interest loan that they gave the Bidens. Well, are the Bidens paying that back? Not at all.
No, it's all money laundering. It's the exact same thing we're seeing with Ukraine. That's why we're sending all this cash and all these weapons and continuing to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. It's all money laundering scheme. Pretty much everything these people do when it involves cash, it's all money laundering. It's never a legitimate business deal.
Oh, most definitely. And we're still waiting on votes to come in here because they're not showing anything yet. And I do want to show you something real quick. And this is on YouTube. This is through the AP that we're waiting for. This is the uncommitted place. Now, I want you to notice the sign to your right there. And look at the little sign there on your right. And it looks like Arabic writing on there under the uncommitted. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the people in Michigan are mad and pissed off at Joe Biden for backing Israel and not Palestine. So somehow in here, this sign got put up here, but this is what we're waiting for the polls to come in. Now, Michigan primary usually it's an indicator for which candidate will win the Republican nomination. Since 1980, they have picked everyone except for one, has got the nomination because of this, because of Michigan. The only one that has not was Newt Gingrich, and that was in 2012 that he did not get the nomination. But every other time so far since then, they have picked the nominee for the Republican Party. So we'll see what happens with this, because also Michigan's got a closely watched gubernatorial race. That's something people in Michigan will be watching for also. So there's a lot going on in Michigan. Like I said, there'll be another one this Saturday, March 2nd, for the caucus to release all the, what did I say earlier? The delegates.
Yeah.
They won't release all the delegates until Saturday after the Michigan primary. Let me see here. We've got a lot of races coming up here, because on the 2nd we've got Michigan, we got Idaho, and we got Missouri. And then on the 3rd, we got the District of Columbia, which of course that's a presidential primary also. So we might cover that too, just to have fun and bashing the Democrats, because it's so easy, because every day is a new adventure with the Biden administration and the Democrat Party. So there's a lot going on here, and a lot we're going to cover here in the next, what do you got, 9 months or something till November, till the general election. But it's so important that we do this, because we got to get the truth out to people. We've got to get them woke up and vote for Republicans. And I'm not saying Republicans are the best answer in the world, because everybody's got their faults. But right now, the Democrat Party and Joe Biden are trying to turn this country into dictatorship. They're trying to push digital currency, which will control every bit of spending that you have. They will know every bit of money you have and every cent to where it goes. Do you want that? I sure the hell don't.
So, here, just go over some numbers here. Just go over some numbers here real quick. Biden's at 78.9, uncommitted 16%. Dean Phillips at 2%, 9% is in. Trump is at 63.8%. Haley's at 32.3% with 9% in. We still got a long way to go, because, like we said, this is only the first poll closing. We got another one here at 9. We got about a half an hour to go still.
So we got a lot to watch here, because Michigan, they flip-flop so bad when they barely elected Trump in 2016. And then after that, in 2020, supposedly, they flipped over to Biden. Now, again, we're not trusting the count too much in 2020, because we all know what was going on and what fishy stuff was going on. And of course, no judge will take it up and show the proof of what they showed in 2,000 Mules and the stuffing of the ballot boxes, and all the people that videotaped people double counting ballots, putting them through the counter twice. You know, they had all kind of proof, but no judge would take it, because on that day, the one judge that they did ask said he would not take it up because it would cause the biggest riot they've ever seen in this country's history. And I think that went on, that cascaded to other judges and said, we're not going to touch it either, because something bad's going to happen. So this is what we're seeing with these elections. And that's why we do our videos. That's why we do these live streams. Try to get some of this news out to you that we can't fit in all of our videos.
Yeah, it's amazing that the Democrats all of a sudden were worried about riots if they were to look into the election fraud that happened, considering they basically glorified riots the whole summer of 2020 during Floydapalooza. Uh, but it's when their people are rioting that it's okay. You have Kamala Harris setting up funds to bail out Black Lives Matter and Antifa terrorists so they could go out and riot, burn, loot, and murder again. Uh, but these are the same people that will glorify all those people that burned down the cities, murdered many people during those riots, but will turn around and call January 6th an insurrection.
Right. And nothing happens to them. And that's what the problem is with this Democrat Party. It's okay for them to lock up all the J6 people and violate their constitutional rights of all their processes, but they don't do a thing to all those people that burned down state buildings, federal buildings, looted all the stores. They didn't do a thing to these people. But January 6th, they're locked up for life for no reason.
Yeah. And they're not going to go after them. And the thing that makes it worse about January 6th is how they selectively arrested people. They still really haven't gone after Ray Epps, and they still can't seem to find the guy that planted the pipe bomb. They just simply don't want to. So it really makes you scratch your head and start to ask questions about that. How many people were working with the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA and so on and so forth that helped carry out January 6th and stage an insurrection, a fake insurrection to demonize Trump and his supporters. But like I said, this is the double standard we see with the left. They've compared January 6th to September 11th, which should offend every American out there, regardless of your political beliefs. But they'll glorify these people that burn our cities. You remember the MSNBC reporter, half the city's on fire behind him, and he says it's a mostly peaceful protest. It's just amazing how there are people that hold these views and don't see the hypocrisy in this whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it's funny how that works. And they do this every time you turn around, and this is a perfect example of Democrats at work, because I've showed videos of mine where when Roe v. Wade was overturned, and you had, I can't remember her right name again too, but she got right on TV and said, "To hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them."
Maxine Waters.
Yes. And then you had Chuck Schumer go up there and say, "For you, Kavanaugh, you have woken up and you will pay the price." Nothing happens to these people. Then you've got that idiot on the squad that married her brother to get him in to the United States illegally. Disgusting pig. And they're all terrorist sympathizers. And they should all be kicked out of Congress because they're not even natural citizens of America. They're naturalized. And they shouldn't even be in here.
Right. We shouldn't have any Sharia supremacists holding any office in our country whatsoever. Probably could make an argument for no Sharia supremacists being here whatsoever, honestly, because their values are the complete opposite of ours. And, honestly, they hate everything about our country. So why we would even allow these people in our country is beyond me. And I'm not talking about all Muslims, of course. I'm talking about the radical Muslims that hate America. There are some Muslims that are good people that I have no problem with. But you could tell that Ilhan Omar is she's one of these radical Islamists that hates everything about America, and she should not be here at all.
No,
especially not holding an office.
No, but when I was still working before I retired from the prison, we had Muslims, and they were bad Muslims. They were white man hated Muslims, and I had them come up to me and told them they would kill me in a heartbeat if they were on the streets because they hate white men that much. And he told me that to my face. And it's like, okay, I don't care. I don't like you either. But this is, I mean, we have them around here, and we had a bunch of them in my prison that I worked at. And I dealt with them every day. And most of them, like you said, were nice, but most of them were, and I can't remember, there was two different types. There was Shiite Muslims, and there's other ones. And some of them don't believe in peace like they say they do. And the other ones are
Right.
brain fed of killed all white man Americans. So that's what they do all the time.
Right. Yeah, but it's pretty obvious that she's one of these ones that hates America. You know, she said every offensive thing about our country possible. You know, she just, well, I mean, she's really doesn't speak much different than most Democrats today. You know, America's a racist country. You know, it's inherently racist. You know, so on and so forth. You know, so it's.
I'm going to put this up here so people can see the numbers.
Yep.
You can see the numbers at the bottom of the screen there. Oop. Yep. When they come up there, yeah, there you go. There's Trump at 64.1%, Haley at 31.9%, with only 10% in. This is what we're seeing so far. And I'm not sure what the 117 delegates, I think, is what comes out of here. I'm not sure because it says, I'm not sure what the 116 and what the blue is, but that's 16 right there. So Michigan 16. I don't know if that's a county or what. Biden at 78.8%, uncommitted at 16%, Phillips 2.6%. See, we're still holding steady here. So we'll come back to it and see what we got here in a little bit. So hello, everyone in the chat. Please let us know where you're tuning in from, and let us know how people in your state are dealing with these elections. If you've had your primaries yet, let us know. And let us know what your feeling is on this. Are you guys voting for Trump, Biden? Or are you undecided? Or what? Do you believe that the Democrats are corrupt, that Joe Biden is corrupt? Please give me a yes or a no in the chat. Because we got a long way to go before our next, what time is it anyways? Our next thing in 22 minutes. 22 minutes we've got before our next polls close, because Michigan's part of theirs in different time zones. So that's why it takes a little longer on this one. But we will be covering this. And on the 2nd, I'm hoping you guys will join us so we can see if they're going to be televising the caucus. They usually do, because that's going to spread and delegate the delegates and put them out to where they go. We're still at the same. We're still rolling at 10% in, and everybody's still the same right now.
Dean Phillips never had a chance, did he?
No, he's really down there.
No.
But if you guys didn't hear that the Koch brothers, well, it was Koch brothers and they're one of their affiliates, pulled their money from Nikki Haley. Well, she decided to be a little smart ass and get on there, and she said she didn't care about them because they were not giving her any money. They were just door knockers. So this tells me, it goes to show what kind of bitch that Nikki Haley is, because she said the same thing. She said, where was it at? In New Hampshire. She said they weren't worth her time to go there and talk to people and stuff. So you bet your ass that she is definitely a Democrat plant, And this is all about subverting Trump's votes because she is still being backed by certain Democrat bigwig rich people to stay in this race. And right now she's down by, what do we got? 64, probably 33% right now. And that is an abysmal loss. And I hope it stayed there or lower for her because she
Yeah.
is she should have been out long ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction here
Go ahead.
with Nikki Haley. I think I don't know when it's going to happen exactly, but it's going to be before the last primary. Of course, she's going to switch at some point to independent, I believe, so she could go right to the election, but it won't be classified as a loss. You see what I'm saying? So she could still make the election and not fall under the sore loser law. I think that's ultimately her plan here. I don't know how it translates to success for her. I don't think it does, but she's only going to continue to get destroyed in any of these primaries where she's going up against Donald Trump. And as I said before, I think the money's going to start drying up. We already see the Koch brothers, who are a major establishment donor, pulling money from her. So I think her only possible way to win, as unlikely as it is to go on the independent ticket. It's still not going to work. As I've said before, it doesn't matter who the Democrats have running, and it doesn't matter what third-party candidates happen to be running. Donald Trump is going to beat absolutely anybody that's thrown in his way. Just the MAGA movement has grown so much over the last few years. There's nobody that could beat Donald Trump.
Well, it's a fact that because right now, if you guys have read, Joe Biden has did an about face on the immigration process and the southern border. Now he's wanting to do his executive order that he said he could not do. Donald Trump used an executive order, shut the border down when he got in. And Biden kept saying, telling the Republicans and telling all the voters that the Republicans are refusing to talk about the piece of legislation that they put in to work on the border. Well, that piece of legislation did not do anything about closing the border. All it did was they were hiring some more Border Patrol agents, some more judges to process these illegal criminals through faster to let them out on the streets quicker than what they're doing now. Well, that's not what we need. We need him to shut the border down. And they're whining and crying now because they're getting close to a government shutdown. And I've said this all along, shut them down. If they will not negotiate on the border, you sure to hell are not going to give him money for Ukraine in his money laundering operation. He also refuses to ban Russian oil so that we can get our prices at the pumps down. So Joe Biden and the Democrats are running scared right now because they know they are losing this election. And this is why they are doing an about face and making him change his tune about the southern border. But they're still not wanting to close the border down. You saw that the girl from the nursing student from Georgia got killed by a illegal criminal. And you hear I'm saying illegal criminal because everybody that crosses that border illegally is a criminal. I don't care if you're a child, a woman, a man, and then mostly it's with military-age men. You're all criminals. If you do not follow the immigration process, you're a criminal. And if people don't like that, I really don't give a shit. But that's just the way it is. And the cartel members, they're blatant about this because if you watch the videos, cartel members pushing these people through the fences, videotaping them to prove to the families that they got through the fence into America so they'll pay them. Well, I found out the other day that China and the people that all the Chinamen that have come over here are all military age men again, pays $10,000 to each person to the cartels in Mexico to bring their people over here. Well, that's how the drugs get through. There are also in a video I'll be releasing here in a few days about machine gun parts. And China is arming American criminals with machine guns. So this is the problem that's going on with the southern border. And people want to sit there and blame us because we don't want illegals in here. Well, our people are getting killed, raped, our police are being attacked. We have the highest fentanyl death rate ever since Joe Biden took over. This is what needs to be stopped. This is why the border has to be shut down. That's why this election is so important. But I'm sick and tired of these liberals. If you want these illegals in here, take them to your house. We sure the hell don't need them in here. We don't need this turning into a third world country. That's why we need to vote for Republicans. Get these Democrats out at the state, local level, and federal level. We've got to get them all out of power. They can't control anything after this year. If they do, we're screwed. But if they win this election, we're definitely screwed. We're going to lose this country. Believe it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. For me, it's not enough to just negotiate the border in order to send more foreign aid to anyone. As far as I'm concerned, we're done sending money to Ukraine. We've sent more than enough to Ukraine. The other European nations need to start kicking in because it means a lot more to them than it does us. But we're not sending money anywhere as far as I'm concerned. We shouldn't be sending money anywhere or sending or having money to fund the government until the border is secure. If it's me, I've been saying this for a long time now, either shut down the border or shut down the government. There is no compromise. Until the border is secure, guess what? No more funding for the government. And this is the biggest thing that frustrates me, with many others, I'm sure, when it comes to Republicans. Republicans have a lot of leverage at the moment, but they never utilize it. No funding gets passed without the Republicans right now because they hold the majority of the House. All they have to do is say, you're shutting down the border completely or you're not getting any money. We'll shut down the government. They could use that leverage, but they never do. And, until we shut down the border and we start deporting all these people, you're going to see more and more people murdered, like that student was in the University of Georgia this week. And she's not the first example. This has happened to many people already. And, the drugs pouring across the border, as you said, and the child sex trafficking. All this is going to continue until the border is secured and shut down, and until every illegal criminal is deported back to their own country. And that's the message that Congress should be working on, should be fighting on, is you're not getting another penny for anything until you shut down this border, until you kick all these illegal criminals out. You are not getting one more penny in funding for anything.
No, most definitely. We're still seeing the same percentage right here. We got 11% in. And we're still at 64.3 with Trump, 31 with Haley. Biden still at 78%. We've got about, what time is it again? We got about 11 minutes before the next and last poll closes, and we should be getting some numbers in by that time. But let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think the government should be shut down until they close this border? Or are you guys happy with the border being open the way it is? Let me know in the chat if you guys think the government should shut down over the border until it's secured. Because there's so much that goes on in here that we can't stop unless we get this election. And if you all know anybody that needs help getting to an election poll, give them a ride. Text a friend, make sure they're registered to vote. Get them out there and get them to vote Republican, and we'll deal with this after Trump gets in here and tries to get this country back on the track that it needs to be at, because we are headed in the wrong direction. And another reason why we keep doing these videos, you know, that's why we get them to get the truth out to people, because you don't get the truth on ABC, CBS, CNN, all those idiot news, fake news media sites. And I say it all the time to people, and then you get liberals on there that sit there and say, well, why wasn't there fake news before Trump? Well, there was. It just took him to wake us up to see the truth and show the corruption of the Democrat Party. DC is corrupt, and it needs cleaned up. And now Trump was like, his first 4 years was like a lesson learning period for him. And now he knows exactly what needs done to clean this place up. Once Trump gets us back into office, then we'll work on the next presidential election in 4 years. But right now, it's so important that we gain control of this country back. And it's not going to happen unless we can get a Republican in office that knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and that's one thing that people need to realize. It's going to be pretty amazing to see what happens if Trump gets back in the White House, and I believe that he will, because as you said, Trump's first term, he really didn't know who to trust in D.C. He didn't know these people as well as he does now. Now he knows who all the true conservative Republicans are that want to make this country great again, and who all the swampy rhinos are that stabbed him in the back his first term. So if he gets back in this election, you're gonna see a lot of great things happen this second term of Trump.
With any luck, that's for sure. I'm trying to find another site here that'll give us some more numbers here, because I'm getting too many commercials on this. Are you showing anything, any results or anything?
No, mine's on commercial right now too. I can go to another outlet. Let me see here.
Still not showing anything. I'm still trying to find. Well, I'm tired of the commercials on here.
MSNBC has Biden at 78.5 and uncommitted at 16.3, 10% of the votes in. Looks like Trump's at 64% and Haley's at 32. I think 10% of that's in as well. Yep, now Trump's at 64, Haley's at 32, 8% is in, according to MSNBC.
Well, it's great for me. There's so many places that are, but almost all of them are commercials. And some of them aren't actually live, how they say they're live, and they're not live. These are pre-recorded stuff. So hopefully we get some numbers here coming up here pretty soon. We've got about 7 minutes left, and we'll be seeing some of the polls close, and it should go pretty quick after that. Nothing like South Carolina was, and it went real fast. In like 5 minutes after it opened, they were already calling it. Let me know where you guys from in chat.
It wasn't even, I got to fact check you, it wasn't even 5 minutes, it was 2 minutes.
It was 2 minutes?
It was 2 minutes. 7:02 is when news outlets start calling it for Trump.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it's going to be too long after the next poll close. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too long after that. Trump and Biden will both be declared winners pretty quickly after that, I think.
Yeah, we're still at 11% in. I'm on Jesse Waters right now, and They're still 12% in on this one, and still showing the same 64-7 and 31-3 for Haley. But this one is a little bit longer than normal. Will definitely be long on the second too for the caucus and all the other ones that are coming up on the second. Like I said before, we'll have Michigan caucus. We'll have Idaho Republican presidential caucus. We'll have Missouri's presidential caucus, all on the second. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. And on the third, we'll have District of Columbia. On the fourth, we'll have North Dakota. And then on the fifth, the big one. You guys got to join us on that. That is the Super Tuesday. We are going to have 16 states voting that day. We got Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California. That'll be a late night. Colorado, Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and American Samoa, which, I never knew that existed. Did you know that existed?
I can't say that I did, no.
It's American Samoa. Let me know in chat if you guys have ever heard of American Samoa. I never knew this until I had to look it up. They actually have 6 Democrat delegates and 9 Republican delegates. This is a presidential caucus. It's called American Samoa. Look it up. If you've never heard about it, look it up. That is all on March the 5th, Super Tuesday. Hopefully we can come up with a lot of stuff to share with you guys about Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday's been going on for quite some time, and I want to get the history of it and talk to you guys about the history, and we want to know where you guys are coming from and where you're tuning in from. Get your opinions on the elections. Is it going the way you guys want to, or is it really not going the way you thought it would go? But right now it's running slow because we're doing single state races right now, and we're about to get out of that here soon. And like I said, we're going to be covering a lot of different primaries all the way up to November for the general election. And don't get it wrong, every one of these primaries and caucuses that are going on right now are so important. You couldn't do this without these things, and we still have time to wake people up and show them the truth that the Democrat Party is corrupt and all they want to do is control you. So please don't forget to go to our channels. Mine is Country Conservative here on Rumble, and follow me and go to the Brendan Statler Show here on Rumble. Check out our videos, follow us, so we can get our reach out to more people. This is why we ask you to share our videos, to get them out to your friends and your families, your neighbors, everybody, to show them how bad this corruption is in DC. And I do videos on a lot of different things. Friday on the 1st, hopefully they'll be televising the Fani Willis and Nathan Wade hearing, and I will be covering that. And if you want to join in, I'll be going live, and if Brendan gets off work, he's going to chime in too. He's going to get in here so we can see what's going on with that and get all these persecutions of Donald Trump the hell out of here so he can focus in what's important, and that's his country.
All right, we got about a minute and a half till second polls close here.
Hopefully things will take off once the polls start to close here. Well, we're almost at 9 o'clock. Yeah, we got another minute there.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to take very long for them to declare winners after these polls close. It might be right away, actually.
I'm just curious of why. Well, they're both showing 12% now. The Republicans were showing 12%, and the Democrats were showing 11% here a short while ago. And I couldn't figure out why one's a higher percentage than the other, because they should be both together. Like I said, You got Democrats, you got independents, you got uncommitted Republicans all voting today. It's uncommitted is something new that the Michigan people are doing because they're pissed off at Joe Biden because of his stance with Israel. They believe that he should be backing Palestine. Well, I'm sorry, but the Palestinian people have been under control of Hamas for so many years that the majority of these people have been brainwashed by Hamas and believe Hamas is good. Hamas is nothing but a terrorist group.
Yeah,
they
and I'm assuming where we saw those signs you showed at the beginning. I'm assuming that was Dearborn, Michigan. There's a large Muslim population there in that part of Michigan. So,
well, that's probably where the
that's
uncommitted
probably
comes
why.
from.
Yeah, that's probably why there's a lot of Palestinian supporters.
Well,
there.
that makes sense. That makes sense then. Once again, everybody in chat, let us know where you're tuning in from.
MSNBC just projected Trump the winner.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what.
Here we go. Fox News is doing. Let's tune in with Sean Hannity right now. Hold on a second.
And they projected Biden as well. Soccer.
Out once more.
They just switched to stupid soccer right in the middle of Hannity giving his. That is so ridiculous. I cannot
out
believe
on the left
they
now.
switched to soccer.
He's had a look.
That is crazy that they would switch to soccer right in front and while they were announcing Trump the winner.
Yeah, who the hell watches soccer in this country anyway?
No kidding, but that tells me that Fox don't want them projecting Trump the winner.
Probably not. Like I said, Fox isn't even a true conservative network anyway. I had a feeling it was going to be right away. They were going to project both Trump and Biden the winners right after the final polls closed. Let me see if I could.
And now I cannot find another one. And you're right. There's Dearborn, Michigan. And I cannot find another one that's giving the polls out here. Well, I can't wait to email Fox News and see what the hell is up with that. Because it's this one here. We'll go back to everybody here and see what's going on. Let me do this. It's funny. Trump is expected to speak at 8 o'clock. How is it 8 o'clock? It's already 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock over there.
He must be in that time zone. And that's an hour for them because it says shows 6:59. I bet you that's not even live.
Maybe not.
Well,
I'm not saying because it's technically 8:03 there. At this point.
I cannot believe Fox News would do that. Let's see if they're still showing.
Trump said 86,473 votes. Nikki Haley's at 41,199 according to MSNBC.
All right. Yep.
And let's see where Biden's at once Biden's numbers come up.
They're showing another poll to close in an hour. Unless this is the same channel I was on before.
Biden's at 83,828, and the uncommitted selection is 17,289.
Okay, we're going to go into Fox News here right now, and they're giving an update here. So listen to this.
39 delegates at a state convention over the weekend. They had to split it up because of rules. But as we dig in here to the numbers, and there you see about 12% in and 65 to 30. Now, a lot of these counties have not filled in, but if you look down here in Detroit, they haven't even filed yet. But next door, this is Washtenaw. This is where University of Michigan is, Ann Arbor. If Nikki Haley was going to have a big night, she had to have one right there. And you see the former president, that's 55% in. If you look over here at Grand Rapids, again, not a lot of numbers yet. This state has been really interesting for Republicans if you think back to the last elections. 2016, this turned into Trump country, all of this upper Michigan part, and that's what makes it so interesting for the general election. He's going to win big. All the polls heading in had him up significantly, but really how union voters vote in the general election, if we're going to have this head-to-head again, and how Arab American voters vote. You mentioned the Democratic primary and the pushback against the policy of the Biden administration by Arab Americans specifically, led by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Now it's at 16.2%, but you look at some of these counties coming in, and again, I pushed to Oakland County, it's at 14. If you go to, again, Ann Arbor, look at this, 23.8. You're going to see some of these numbers, and some of the Democratic experts on the ground think that the uncommitted vote could get up to about 100,000 votes. Now, it depends on how many total Democrats vote, but that could be a significant signal to the former president. I want to take you back just really quickly to the calendar and what we have ahead. Obviously, we're coming to the end of February. We're right here in the Michigan primary. But if you go over to March, the next big contest is obviously Tuesday, Super Tuesday. And you've got 15 contests, 11 of them are open primaries. Democrats and independents can vote in them, but a lot of delegates at stake. And then if you go back, you could have a scenario whereby these big states start to add up delegates where the former president could start clinching the nomination. And that's what we're looking at, how long it takes, whether Nikki Haley stays in or not after Super Tuesday. But tonight in the Michigan primary, the former president is rolling, and it's just a matter of how big the margin is.
Hey, Brett, I think you're in the right to call it the Bret Baier Big Board. Great analysis.
Just tonight. Just tonight.
We'll get you your own big board. You've been around long enough. I think you've earned it. All right, Bret Baier, special report. Thank you, sir. All right, yesterday, Joe Biden embarked on a disastrous trip to New York City. He joined Seth Meyers on his late night show for an extremely unfunny appearance. This should have been a layup for Biden, sitting for a pre-taped show with a liberal host who struggles to get close to 1 million viewers a night. In fact, as the Hollywood Reporter pointed out last month, he wasn't even averaging 800,000 viewers a night. How does he survive on TV? But during his appearance, Biden tried to ease concerns over his age before later forgetting what year it was. You can't actually make this up. You decide. Take a look.
You are currently 81 years old.
Who the hell told you that?
Yeah.
That's classified.
That's classified. All jokes aside, according to recent polling, this is a real concern for American voters. How do you address that concern going forward as you come up to the 2024 election?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you got to take a look at the other guy. He's about as old as I am. It's about how old your ideas are. Look, I mean, this is a guy who wants to take us back. He wants to take us back on Roe v. Wade. He wants to take us back on a whole range of issues that are 50, 60 years, they've been solid American positions.
What would you want to do? What's your 2024 agenda? Because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about.
Look, the 2020 agenda is to finish the job.
All right, after Phil.
Okay, well, if the man can't figure out what year it is, you guys think his dementia is shot out or what? This man is not going to make it to 2024. He's done so much wrong; it's unreal.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that it's going to be Gavin Newsom. I don't see any way that they stick with Biden. Like I said before, though, I figured they would have done it how I figured they would have done a long time ago, start to phase Biden out. So I almost wonder what their plan is, and why it's taken this long to start to be put in motion. Because like we were talking about before, nobody likes this guy at all. Nobody truly supports him. Nobody's going to go out and vote for this guy. It's all but ensuring a Trump victory if Biden runs. Like I said, I think Trump wins against, it doesn't matter who his opponent is, he wins regardless. But Biden will be by far the easiest opponent for Trump. Biden has absolutely no chance at all.
Let us know in chat if you guys are supporting Biden or who you're going to support when the election comes. But there's so much that's wrong with Joe Biden. I don't see how people can even think about even voting for him. I mean, you could just see. I've worked with pedophiles in the prison that I used to work at, and you can see that every time Joe Biden's near a kid. The way he touches their hair, he sniffs them. It's just wrong. And you see it the way he walks, the talks, everything about him. He can't remember anything. And now most of the backers for Biden are concerned because he uses cue cards when he talks because he can't remember a thing. But they want to sit there and say that he's this good off-the-cuff talker. No, he's not. He wouldn't use cue cards if he wasn't off the cuff of a talker like Donald Trump. You don't see Trump ever using cue cards.
No.
He's always right off the top of his head. He goes in and he talks.
Yeah, and can you imagine if he did use cue cards, what the media would say about that? But Biden definitely does strike most people as somebody that's a pedophile. Like, I mean, this is the same guy that showered with his young daughter to where she wrote about it in her diary or journal, whatever you want to call it. So, and like you said, you see the way that he interacts with young children, how he sniffs young girls and stuff. It's just, I can't believe any of these. I can't believe any of these parents are there. Like if I had a daughter and that guy went up and sniffed my daughter, like you see in these videos, I'd punch him right in the face. Vice president or president, whatever your title.
It don't matter.
I don't care.
No. I wanted to come back up because I believe that Trump is up on Haley by like 60,000 votes right now. And the uncommitted on the Democrat side we're looking at, they're at 19,000 right now. They're uncommitted. They got that Dean Phillips that he did say that he would take Haley as an independent and he would actually be her vice president if she would be willing to talk about it as an independent. So when you said that about her turning into an independent here soon, that's what that came to mind to me whenever he said that. They did an interview with him and they asked him, would you be her second in command? He said that's something that he'd be willing to talk to her about. But yeah, it's up there right now. Trump is 60,633 more than Haley is right now. She's at 51 something, and he's at 112,748. With how much is in? Only 16% in yet. So I'm hoping this streak stays, and that's like a 35% deficit. And hopefully, if she gets humiliated this bad, but she said she won't drop out. She said she's going to stay in until Super Tuesday, and I can believe she'll do that.
Yeah, I could believe that too. Like I said, I think the most likely scenario is she runs on the independent ticket because, you would think at some point she's not just going to continue going out every primary getting her ass kicked. I mean, you would think anyway.
I would think she's a glutton for
But at
punishment.
the same time, you can't get anybody to vote for her. Like you said, the only people that are really keeping her afloat are Democrats and left leaning independent voters. But the thing that people need to understand is the people that would support Nikki Haley as president are a small minority of the country. The majority of the country is conservative. They want true conservatives. They want border security. They want to end these endless wars that we seem to be involved in when a Democrat or a Bush type Republican are in office. People want to see peace through strength and peace in the Middle East like we had under President Trump. So that's why I say it's not going to matter what these people do. They're going to lose no matter what, because Trump, this is the unique thing about this election. We have someone that already been president, has a record of being president. We see all the stuff that he was able to accomplish in his first term, and people were able to look at that and compare and contrast from what we have now and what a Nikki Haley type candidate even would bring us. So that's the unique thing about this election. Trump has a record. Most presidential candidates had not been president. They haven't been president before, so they don't have a record to run on as president. Trump does. So that's why I say, it doesn't matter what these people do. Trump's gonna win, assuming we all do our job and go out and vote.
Oh, right, most definitely. And again, I want to ask you guys, please go to our Rumble pages. Go to Brendan Statler.
Show.
Yes, show. Brendan Statler Show. Please follow him. And go to My Country Conservative and follow me. Look at our videos. Share our videos with your friends and family. Get them out there. Get the truth out to people. That's what we're doing here today. That's why we're on all the primaries that we're going to cover and show you guys how things are working out and see how things are going to work towards a better America. Because right now, our country is not good. And I don't care what liberal idiots say. There's no way anybody can be happy the way this direction of this country is going. And we've got to get it, because under Trump, you had more money in your paycheck. Gas prices were lower. Food prices were lower. Interest rates were a hell of a lot lower. And the interest rates are not going to come down anytime soon. This is why we have to get Democrats out of power. We've got to get our country back where we can afford to do stuff. And right now, it's just not happening.
And the biggest thing with Trump that we're missing now is not only everything here, like you said, being able to afford to put food in your fridge and gas in your car without draining your entire paycheck. But it's also everything abroad. Our country was feared and respected under Trump because they understood these other leaders understood if they screwed around too much, that they would face Trump's wrath. So that's also something that we're missing. And we're also missing, as I mentioned before, how Trump was able to negotiate peace deals. He was able to bring people to the table. And this is exactly what he's going to do with Ukraine and Russia. As soon as he gets back in office, he's going to bring Zelensky and Putin to the table, and they're going to work out a deal. This is what he was doing in the Middle East before the election was stolen from him. So that's also the other major accomplishments that Trump was able to deliver his first term. that were missing. Not only were we thriving here in the United States here at home, but we were feared and respected abroad, and we were able to negotiate peace deals with other countries, something that liberals have claimed to have wanted for many years now. They've wanted world peace. Well, Donald Trump was on his way to doing that. And, it's kind of amazing how everything is flipped now. Now the liberals that used to be about fighting against the man are now all about big government, and it's the conservatives that are all about fighting the machine and wanting limited government.
Right. I'm going to let you guys look at some numbers here. They're talking about on Hannity right now.
Of that. Certainly, I see the Democratic campaign as demagoguing. Trump is evil. Trump is evil. Democracy in peril. January 6th, demagoguing abortion. Certainly now demagoguing IVF, and saying that Republicans are racist and sexist and want dirty air and water and want to kill grandma and grandpa. Now, that's the narrative that they always come up with. How do Republicans counter that?
Well, first of all, President Trump reacted exactly right, came out in favor of in vitro fertilization, as did Speaker Johnson. And I think we can clear that issue out pretty quickly. Almost all Republicans are going to be in favor of in vitro fertilization. Second, if you look at the young lady who was killed in Georgia, at the University of Georgia, by a Venezuelan illegal immigrant, you can make a pretty good argument that the party that does not protect women, the party that does not defend the innocent, is the Democratic Party, and that, in fact, what they're doing with illegal immigration is a far greater danger to the average woman than anything Republicans are charged with.
Yeah. And by the way, reminder, I'll be with Donald Trump on the border on Thursday. I'm sure it's a mere coincidence, Mr. Speaker, that Joe Biden, after 3 years of saying the border's closed and secure, and now blames Republicans and saying I've done everything possible, they won't help me. It's interesting he'll be there the same day. He's welcome to join me and Donald Trump and Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott. We'd love to have him. But we'll see if that, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Now, you see, I love those numbers I'm seeing with Donald Trump so far. 68,276, I think it was, that he's above Haley right now, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah, according to MSNBC's numbers, I just caught a glimpse of the numbers. It is a significant margin. He's it looks like he's about 80,000 votes ahead according to their numbers. Yeah, let me see when it comes through. Like I said, I just caught first glance.
They're way ahead of
the numbers.
They're way ahead of Fox News. Jeez, I'm pleased if you're showing 80,000.
I think that's what I saw. Let me see what it's going to come up here again.
Let me know, you guys in chat, if you guys see anything out there, if you see some other channels and know what the numbers are. I would like to know to see how far he is ahead of Nikki Haley, because I want to see her squashed.
Trump's at 123,790. Haley's at 56,049.
Wow. Big numbers. Big numbers. They got to embarrass her. I don't know what it's going to take for her to get out. How much more of embarrassment does she have to be under to drop out? This is just, it just dumbfounds me.
And
you guys seeing any numbers in chat there?
Biden's at 108,155, and the uncommitted is at 20,957.
Yeah, like you said, though, I mean, there's nobody running against Biden, so
no,
he's going to get all the Democratic idiot votes.
Yeah.
So, and I don't believe these people. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to vote for Trump, but why would you vote for a clearly demented man? He's clearly demented. His mind is shot. He should not be holding on to the nuclear button. So how you can think that he's doing any good for this country? And I ask this question all the time on X, on everywhere, on Facebook, everywhere. I ask the same question: what has this man done good for this country? And nobody can answer. And most of them will sit there and say, well, the infrastructure bill that he signed, well, that wasn't good. That raised the deficit up to a point where we're at $35 trillion. And that is something that our kids cannot afford to pay back. They are only making interest payments on that money. They're not even making the premium on this money that they borrow from other countries, from banks. They can't afford this. So what has Joe Biden done good for this country? Anybody in chat, do you guys have any idea what Biden has done good for this country? Let me know. We'll discuss that.
And it doesn't even have to be since he's been the illegitimate president. It could be back to his senator days, or if there's anything he happened to work with Obama as vice president you guys want to list. You can list those. I highly doubt you're going to find anything to list, because this hapless, feckless old man hasn't done anything positive his entire political career.
No, 40 plus years. And he's all failures. His foreign policies have been failures, and that is proven right now because of the wars going on. That Trump had 0 wars when he was in office. But as soon as Joe Biden gets in there and all these countries see the weakness that Biden permeates, they jumped on this right quick. And they're taking advantage of this. China taking a chance of getting Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Gaza. It's just, it's never ending. And yes, the Middle East has been at war for hundreds of years. There's always the little skirmishes, but nothing to this point. It's just so bad that I don't know what it's going to take. If we can't get, we got to get a win. We are going to lose this country. Excuse me. If we don't get a win this November.
Yeah, this is just my opinion, how I see things now. At this point, there is no changing minds at this point. If you have not woken up to this point, you never will. I think our whole purpose to this point is just trying to motivate people to go out and vote, which if you're not motivated to vote by now, I don't know how that's even possible. You see everything that has happened since Joe Biden was illegitimately installed into the White House. You see how our country has gone to complete shit since then. If that doesn't motivate you to get out and vote, I don't know what does. But back to my original point, if for the people that have not woken up yet, there is no waking these people up. There is nothing that you could see from this point on that would wake you up if you have not woken up already. It could not be any clearer what is happening here. You know, these people are destroying our country from within. Joe Biden is not incompetent. These people are not incompetent. This is all intentional. We need to quit referring to this regime as incompetent. It is all intentional. These people are enemies of our country. They are treasonous, and they should be punished to the fullest extent possible.
Yeah, but no, it just seems that the only ones that get punished or held responsible for anything are Republicans.
Right.
Problem, huh?
Yeah, right. It's because that these people control the FBI, the DOJ, the CIA, you know, all the 3-letter organizations. So if they're controlling them, you know, they're not going to prosecute them for anything. I'm saying under normal circumstances, if we were truly a nation of law and order like we claim to be, these people would be convicted of treason.
The only ones that seem to be following the law are the Republicans, and because the Democrat are the most lawless party there is out there right now. But the problem I have with the Republicans being so lawful is nothing's getting done. Nobody's being held responsible. All they're doing is holding hearings after hearing. They're sending letters to this alphabet agency, wanting documents for this, wanting to subpoena these people. But nobody's held accountable. It's been 3 years since Joe Biden's been in there. Okay? They impeached Mayorkas over the southern border only in the House. And that's as far as it's went. It's just the House. You know the Senate's not going to do it because they're controlled by the Democrats. This is why I tell you that we have to get out and vote Republican and get control of both houses, because if not, nothing's ever going to get done. You're going to see Democrats doing their unlawful stuff and the Republicans doing nothing about it. To hold another hearing. Let's send another letter. They threatened to shut down the government. Let's see if that holds. Not a penny more, like you said, Brendan, not a penny more should go to any country unless they control our border first. They shut it down, ship everybody back, start deporting people, which that'll never happen. But Biden keeps saying again that he wants to do something about the border only because of elections. I just saw an article today that the Democrats are trying to pass a bill. And you guys let me know in chat if you agree with this. They are trying to pass a bill to give millennials and Generation Z people under the age of 30 $1,400 a month to help with the homeless population. They want to do this for 3 years. They're trying to pass a bill for 3 years to pay Generation Z and millennials the $1,400 a month. And do you know where this money comes from? Your taxpayer money. So do you guys agree that this bill should pass? Because this is what I just saw tonight before we got on. Do you think we should be paying all these people, all these children, and I children because I'm 55. Oh no, I'm 56. We're going to give them free money because they already think that they're owed something. They think they're owed free college, and they think they should work when they feel like working, and not when you work 8 to 4. No, when they think that they should be able to come in when they feel like working. This is a population and a generation of lazy that think they are owed the world. We work for what we have.
Yeah, and this is all by design too. The reason that they try doing the student loan forgiveness, and now while they're trying to give, what'd you say it was, 14,000?
1,400 a month.
1,400. I'm sorry. Well, still even the same. The reason they give out, what they call free money. Of course, we know there's no such thing as free money. It all comes from taxpayer money, and you can even look at this from the welfare standpoint as well. The reason that they have these programs where they give away taxpayer money and disguise it as free money, it's a form of socialism and communism. That's what they're trying to turn this country into. They want people to not work. They want people to, rely on the government to take care of them. That's their whole goal. That's been their goal for the longest time. They want people to just collect a government check. They want people to go to college and have taxpayers pay for it, so they could be indoctrinated into hating their country, and then do absolutely nothing with their useless gender queer studies degree. And, as I said, just sit home and collect a government check. It's all by design. It's to turn us into a Marxist communist nation.
It's about control. They want to control. They want to control everybody. They want to control everything you do. That's why they want to pass the digital currency bill too, to control your money. And you won't never see a penny. You won't see a dollar bill. You won't see any change anymore. They want to wipe out the whole thing. They want to be able to see every cent that you have in your checking accounts. You won't even be able to spend $1. But the way things are going now, it's getting so bad. If China and Russia get their way and China takes over the world currency, you won't be able to buy a pack of gum in the United States with a $10 bill because our money is going to be worthless. and you want to see the kind of recession and possible depression that we will be in if this happens. Because if you look at the commercials on TV, everybody talks about buying gold, buying precious metals. This is why people are doing that, because gold is going to keep its value when the dollar is not. And you're going to think you got, let's say, $500 in your account. That $500 isn't going to be worth $50 if China takes over the world's currency. The reason why our money is so good is because it's accepted and traded around the world. You won't believe what's going to happen if that fails.
Yeah, and to go back to the digital currency point here real quick, that's not even the most frightening part about the digital currency. Just imagine this for a minute. They completely get rid of cash. Everything's digital currency. What would it take for the government to do something like completely shut off the power grid to where you can't access your money? Or how about this? You didn't get the latest COVID booster. You can't access your money. You can't go buy your groceries. Or you made a certain social media post that's not approved by the current regime. You can't spend any money. You can't access your money.
That's right. And that's exactly what they want, because this is the way they will control you. We're still at only 17% in. Are you seeing anything on MSNBC?
No, I've been flipping back between that and Fox. I had it on Fox last, I guess. I forgot what channel I was on. It was on commercial. 16% in for the Republican. Trump's at 148,879. Haley's at 65,656.
Okay, I'm showing at 20% in now for Republicans at 66.1, and Haley's at 29.4. Now Democrats are in at 17%. Of course, Joe Biden's at 79%, and then the other two are lower than that. And we
It's
just went
shown-
to another commercial break.
It's showing Democrat at 15% in on MSNBC.
Well, let's see, they were
But-
ahead of us for here shortly. A little bit ago,
Biden's
they were
at-
ahead of Fox.
Biden's at 123,946 according to this.
They weren't showing the numbers on Fox, so now we're at a
Yeah,
commercial break.
that's why I switched over to them. That's the thing I hate about Fox with election results. They don't actually show a vote count. They just show a percentage. I'm more
Yeah.
interested in the count. I don't know why they don't put the actual number count up there.
No, but I'm not wondering if Trump's going to actually make a speech or not. I know they were showing that
I mean, man, he's killing her right now.
what's the showing now?
It's got to come back. He was at 149,000 something, and she was at 59,000, I think, something.
Oh, that's
some
awesome.
hundred. Here, whenever it comes back through, I'll let you know. Won't be
Right.
long.
Okay, everybody in chat. Once again, please go to our channels. You can even type in my name, Chaz U, or just click on my name in chat, and you can go straight to my channel and Country Conservative and follow me. Check out my videos. I'll be posting another video almost every day. I'll probably be slowing down a little bit because of all these primaries that we're covering. But don't forget to go to Brendan Statler's show and follow him. Check out his couple videos. He just made this page not long ago, so he's still got to get his videos and stuff transferred over. So it's taking him a little while.
Yep.
So, because I mean, he's in school and everything at work, and it's tough to try to handle the page. But he'll get his videos made up. But please follow both of us so our reach can get out there a little further. And hopefully you guys will tune in to all of our primaries and our live feeds and streams that we're doing. And like I said, I'm going to try to do one on Friday for the Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade debacle of hearing that's going on, because they are soon, hopefully, to be disqualified from proceeding with the Trump election interference case, which there was no election interference. So hopefully we'll find out on Friday what's going to be going on, because they're going to bring more witnesses. They're going to, it's a evidentiary hearing going on Friday. So we'll find out if they're going to have it or not. I'm hoping I can do a live feed then. Then we're back on Saturday for another Michigan caucus, and a couple other states are going to be going. So hopefully that you guys will keep tuning in. Get your friends and families that tune in, and give us a shout out and chat to where you're from.
All right, here's Trump's numbers coming up. They're about to come back up again. Okay, according to MSNBC, Trump's at 152,361. Haley is at 67,404. 16% of the vote in.
He's way over double what.
Oh yeah,
He's crushing it.
yeah, not even close at all.
I'd be too embarrassed to even make a speech after this.
I would be too, but excuse me. We all know that she's going to come out and do her Bill Clinton comeback kid, as she's done every speech. Every election. She's done she's had a speech like this after every election, despite the fact she's been humiliated. She comes out and acts like she actually won. What's even funnier is there's still people that continue to support her, despite the fact she's getting humiliated every single election.
Yeah, let's look at this one now. Hannity's giving some numbers
30
out now.
points thus far over Nikki Haley in this Republican primary. And while Joe Biden appears well on the way to winning the Democratic primary.
This looks like it's an old one. And that is not a recent numbers here. We got to get some recent numbers because those are old. And I don't know what's wrong with Fox News. They can't get up to date here on their numbers when they say it's live, and it's not live. And I think this is live. But
water that they just let off into the ocean anyways.
No, they're not live. We got to get some live numbers here. We got to get some better numbers. And see, I know that they said that there was there's some speeches coming up here, but I'm not finding anything showing where the speeches are coming up. Let's see in a
Brought some notes.
See what they said.
What?
And that's not live either. So are you finding any other numbers there?
I'm gonna go on CNN here, see what they got. See what they
slacking here. I don't know if this is live or not. We're going to see here in a second right here. Hold on
Tonight, there's 39 delegates at a state convention over the weekend. They had to split it up because of rules. But as we dig in here to the numbers, and there you see about 12% in and 65 to 30.
That's an old one too. That's an old video. Every one of them that say live, they're not actually live.
All right, Trump, according to CNN's at 154,258. Haley's at 67,000. I just went away and I can't back it up. She's at 67,000 something according to CNN.
That's still pretty good. I'm not finding any numbers here. People are
67,946 is what Haley's at.
Well, I know she's crushing her, and that's what I'm loving to hear.
Yeah, it's an ass kicking either way you look at it. It's just, I just can't believe obviously there's not very many people that support her, but like all the people you see like at these speeches she gives after, they have to be just political donors, because there's no normal person that would continue to support her if she's getting beat this badly
No, that's for sure.
every election. You know what I mean? Like, you would, any normal person, if their candidate was getting beat this bad, you would move on to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to recognize at this point that there's no way that she could win.
Oh, most definitely. But I think these numbers are going to go on for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I think the number's going to go until tomorrow or something. So I'm not sure how much longer we'll be on here, because I think this is going to be an all-nighter, and the numbers are going to trickle in slowly but surely.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to get any better for Haley at all. I think it's Trump's lead is only going to continue to grow, and we'll have to look at what the final count is for Joe Biden and compare it to his vote total in 2020 to see how poorly he's going to do. I think he's going to underperform tonight as well, too, as I stated before.
Well, for me, I think we'll get you some numbers, and you guys tune in with us on Saturday, March the 2nd. And for Michigan, it's probably going to be 8 o'clock again, I believe. Hopefully you guys will tune in with us, and we will have you the numbers from tonight. And we will watch the delegate count and the other states that are voting on Saturday. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight with us. Please, again, follow us on our channels. Brendan Statler at The Brendan Statler Show, and me, Charlie, at The Country Conservative. And hopefully we'll see you guys on Saturday. But for me, this has been The Country Conservative. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you all for watching. Hope we'll see many of you Saturday for our next live stream. Until next time, God bless you all.
Good night, everyone.